there. Well, welcome back to my channel. I know, I know. I've owed y'all a book video for a while now, and I haven't did it, but that's about to change because tonight, y'all not gonna see this tonight, but tonight I got time. So I figured I would give y'all. I think I'm gonna do a couple. So y'all gonna see me in this outfit. This having the same shirt for 2 reviews, more than likely. And that's okay. Okay. I have my handy dandy notebook. Y'all like this notebook? I got it from Dollar Tree, but we're not here for that. We're gonna do our first book review, which don't be mad at me. If you guys hear like wind, I do have the fan on. I'm sorry, it's hot and my hair is down. So my neck is like on fire. So I had to turn it on. Sorry, so sorry about it. Anyways, we are gonna do our first book review. I'm sorry, I'm cold. I'm cold and hot at the same time, y'all. I'm still working out the kinks on how I want these book reviews to look or sound, whatever. So bear with me for these first couple, because we're still trying to figure out the groove. We're gonna start with the book I like because I feel like that's, you want to start on a good foot. So the first book we're going to talk about tonight is by an author named Diamond Johnson. I really like her books. I've read a few of them. I've read a good chunk of her books. And most of her books are like series books. So they're like 2-3 parts to her books. And they all flow for the most part. Depending on what years you're reading them, the characters sometimes pop up in each other's books. But the book we're going to focus on today is called Them Boys from the Bottom. Like I told y'all, we're going to focus on, I know it was a while ago when I did the Ick video, we're going to focus on like urban romance novels or black romance novels because that's my fun genre that I like to read. The other books that I like to read are memoirs, but I don't want to talk about those. I feel like memoirs are personal and what you get out of them and the reason you were attracted to those memoirs. I feel like that's personal, and so I would prefer not to talk about those. Honestly, sort of. Sorry, not sorry, but we can talk about these little romance novels I be reading. So name of the book is Them Boys from the Bottom. And the premise of the book is and we're going to focus on the way her books are, they're multi-viewed, but we're going to focus on who I feel are the main characters in the book. So, there is a man who is, he's a single father. He's struggling to provide for his son. His name is Taliban. And with him struggling to provide for his son, he has 3 younger brothers who he also essentially is the primary parent for and has raised them. And so it's all about like him figuring out like how to provide for his family and trying to stay like on a straight path, basically. And he meets a successful lawyer. Her name is Sajay, and she also is a mom. Her daughter is the same age as Taliban's son. But the point is, they both suffer a great loss in their own way, and they meet each other, and it's the way their relationship forms after those losses. And we kind of see the dynamic of them with their friends and their families and with each other, them in their work environments, things of that nature, and just how they grow with each other, essentially. Okay? Now, that's the spoiler-free version. I'm going to put my rating here. I rate this series, which is 3 books, I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. And now I do think it's a good read. I say if you like romance novels or urban based romance novels, read it. But if y'all don't want no spoilers, I'm giving spoilers in these reviews, I think. I'm sorry. Anyway, so my list of stuff. What I like about the book is that it's multi point of views. So sometimes it's on Taliban, sometimes it's on Sajay, sometimes it's on one of Taliban's brothers, sometimes it's on uh, Sajay's best friend, who she considers a sister. Sometimes it's on enemies. So you kind of get the perspective of everybody in the book. And she does that for pretty much the one, at least the books I've read of Diamond Johnson's. She does that for pretty much all of her more recent stuff. So I really like that. Something else that I liked about the book was that it's rooted in sadness, but there are some funny moments to balance it out. So, because in the book we get the dynamic of Taliban with his brothers, and we get the dynamic of Sajay with her brother, and yeah, we get her with her best friend too, but those are more so serious scenes. But we kind of get to see comedic relief throughout the book. It's rooted in trauma. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it is definitely rooted in trauma, but we do get to see certain moments of like pockets of happiness that make you chuckle, or like Taliban's relationship with Sajay, for example, is super serious, and his brother is in a relationship with a different woman in the book, and their relation, her name is Celine, their relationship is toxic AF, but certain points of it make you laugh. Like, so it balances out the sadness that the book is kind of weighted in, and it makes it a little less a little less sad with the multiple point of views, because everybody in the book is not going through what Taliban is going through the way Taliban is going through it, because I felt like he was primarily the main character. Like, it feels like his story, and Sajay is second in that story, but it feels like Taliban's story, and it feels like his journey to whatever, to me. But his journey is very sad. It's very sad. But everybody around him, I feel like, brings out like comedic points, and throughout his relationship with Sajay, we kind of see him be a little more light, but for the most part, it's a little sad. There was something else I wanted to tell y'all. Oh, what did I want to tell y'all? It was on the tip of my tongue. Rooted in sadness. I should have wrote it down. I forgot what it was now. But anyway, one of my favorite parts of the book, Sajay finds out that her friend has done something to her that is unforgivable. I'm trying not to be too obvious with the spoilers. She finds out her best friend has done something that's unforgivable, and her response to it, I think, was my favorite part of the book, because it was an honest response. And I like that the book doesn't spend too much. I feel like what a lot of romance novels do is, whenever the best friends have a conflict, and it's clear that they don't need to be friends based off of whatever that conflict is, I don't like when authors spend too much time trying to have them have this thought of, maybe I should forgive this friend, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I should. Or even if it's like, sometimes they'll be like cousins who are really close, and they were raised as like sisters or raised as brothers or whatever, and they have conflict, and it's like, this person should be dead to you at this point. But sometimes books try to draw it out. I'm glad that they did not draw it out. Once Sajay finds out what she finds out that her best friend does, her best friend's, I don't know if I said it, her name is Jordan. Once she finds out what she finds out about Jordan, she's pretty much just like, that's that, we good. And I do like that about the book. Something that I disliked about the book, okay, one of the ways in the book that Taliban supports his family, he works 2 jobs, he's in school, he doesn't work like well-paying jobs, he works like average minimum wage type jobs. But then the author makes him like, she randomly slides in that he also sells weed on the side. I didn't like that. Like, I would have much appreciated if he was just like a straight-laced, honest character, because the idea that he has 3 streams of income and he's still super duper duper down bad was kind of questionable to me. We don't know who he's buying weed from or what. I don't know. It never is really touched on. It's just like dropped in a certain part of the book, and then it just kind of disappears. Like, no, we never see anybody purchase from him or anything throughout the book, so it just felt unnecessary, and it felt very stereotypical. So I wish that would have been left out. Something else that felt stereotypical that I felt like could have been left out. I'm not gonna tell y'all what happens, but we get to a point in the book where Taliban has to unalive somebody, and it just felt unnecessary to me. It just felt, why he did it make sense, but him doing it felt out of place to me, and it's honestly my least favorite chapter in the book. And I've read this series like 3 times because it's like a comfort series for me at this point, because I do enjoy the series, but I skip that chapter where that happens every time because I just feel like the book is fine without it. Like, it didn't need it, and it just got, at one point it did feel like it was kind of like a trauma dump session. But overall, I do like the book. And I really wish I could have remembered what I wanted to tell y'all, but I can't remember. Don't get me wrong. There are certain things in this book that I felt were unrealistic. But overall, I think it's a great book. Like I said, I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. It's amazing. Y'all should read it. It's set in Miami. I think that's where the author is from, because if I'm not mistaken, all of her books for the most part are set in Miami. I'm not a down south girl. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I don't know what they're talking about. But I do like the book. I think it's a really, really good series. I like the way this author, she ends her books on cliffhangers to start the next book, but it's not a situation where, you know how some authors really want to make sure they reel you in, so they have something real outlandish happen at the last couple of chapters of the book to make sure you finna read the next one. Her cliffhangers are very realistic for the characters, if I'm making sense. They're very realistic for the characters, and I appreciate that. Like, it's not like she's trying to like shock the world. It's like, oh, this seems like something Taliban would do. I've read the first 2 books. This seems like something he would do by book 3. This seems like something Sajay would do by book 3. So it's very realistic in that way, which I appreciate. I'm trying to see if how comfortable you guys would be with me telling like what happens. I don't know. We'll have to see how these first couple of reviews go. If you guys are interested in like more detailed summaries, let me know, and we can go more in depth in terms of like plots and storylines and the goings on of the goings on. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff down below. I wish I could have remembered what I wanted to tell y'all, but I don't remember it. I forgot, and I feel bad about it. But I hope you guys enjoy. I feel like I want to tell y'all what happens. I don't know. But like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next video. I had to pop back on because as I was doing the next review, I figured out what it is I wanted to tell y'all. Okay, in terms of Them Boys from the Bottle, the thing that I wish would have happened in the book. Okay, this is what I wish would have happened. I wish we would have gotten more of Taliban and Sajay healing from the trauma that they connected to each other with. Like, I wish we would have seen that more. It kind of felt like, I won't say Taliban worked through his, but we saw a little bit more of him working through his than we saw of Sajay working through hers, but it still didn't feel like fleshed out. It felt like, I'm going through this sad thing, but I've met somebody, so now I'm not sad no more. So it don't even matter that I was going through it. I still love the book series. I think it's a great book series, but I do wish we would have been able to see more of Taliban learning and growing, and especially because of what the thing was that he was going through. I wish we could have seen those tidbits of like him going to therapy, or like I wish we could have seen those tidbits of him writing in a journal, or just like something along those lines. For Sajay, the same thing. Like, I wish the thing that she is suffering from, it kind of disappears when something else happens. And realistically, that's not the way the world works. And I wish we would have seen her struggling through her grief more, especially after what she finds out during her period of mourning. I wish we would have been able to kind of like see her more conflicted in her grief. But that was all.